This episode of the Unofficial Universal Orlando podcast is sponsored by the best-selling book, Halloween Horror Nights Unofficial, The Story and Guide 2017. If you're brave enough to attend Universal Orlando's Halloween Horror Nights, you better believe you'll need a survival guide. Head over to Amazon and pick up your copy now and get the stories behind the scares and never miss a trick.
Cinematic upgrade, Aventura rooms, little things, did you know, and more. Welcome to episode 271 of the Unofficial Universal Orlando podcast. Hello everyone, I'm your host for this episode. I am Lee, and joining me is Tracy.
What's up, internet?
What?
Addy, you forgot you were going to do that, actually.
Sorry! Everybody else has been having a go. Sorry, Darren. Hello, everybody!
And of course, Darren.
Hello.
I'd forgot you were actually planning that, and I was still good. It worked out quite fortuitously that I came to you first.
I'm glad you remembered to.
I didn't remember to, that was the thing. I just went to you first.
Oh, it was funny.
Oh, Darren.
Feeling mischievous.
That was awesome.
Well, we recorded next week's show last night with Gabe and Nikki from the theme park duo, and Gabe wanted to do your little catchphrase, Darren. So it seems to become a thing now when anybody else comes on the show.
Cool.
So it's pretty awesome, actually.
Yeah.
Cool.
We're deeply offended, however the narrative goes.
I don't think so. I think it's what is it? The whatever is the sincerest form of flattery. What is it?
Imitation.
That's the one.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Cool. Right, let's get started then. Tracy, would you like to... Let's get some producers. Actually, there's only one. So would you like to get the Producers Club birthday out of the way?
I will indeed. In a few days' time, November the 2nd, it is the lovely Dan Crake's birthday. Happy birthday, Dan.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
It's
Have
a
a good one.
birthday and an
engagement.
engagement.
I know.
Oh, he's
Busy boy?
stealing all the thunder.
No.
Cool. Right.
God.
Let's take a bit of might be a downer for some people, but a bit of news that's come out in the last week. Darren, would you like to tell everyone what is going to be happening with the Cinematic Spectacular?
Yes, the Cinematic Spectacular at Universal is now closed, and Universal Orlando have announced that a new nighttime lagoon show is coming to Universal Studios Florida. That will include new animation featuring characters from favorite Universal attractions, a new storyline, new music, lighting, and special effects. It will take Universal Cinematic Spectacular 100 years of movie memories to an entirely new level, and this is one of many new experiences coming to Universal Orlando as we continue to grow our destination. We'll keep you updated as we find out more.
Darren, quick question. When was the last time you stayed for Cinematic Spectacular?
Horror Nights 25, I think. They're like before that, like before Horror Nights 25 was starting, so...
Trace, do you remember the last time we saw it?
Wasn't the last time we were there, I know
It
that
wasn't.
much. Because I don't think it actually was on
I
when we were
don't
there.
know. Darren, is it usually on during Horror Nights?
No, it's not
No.
during. Yeah,
No, I mean like
during.
on while Horror Nights is going on. Is it still on sort of like in between days?
On off nights. I don't think it is.
I don't think so. No.
That'll explain it then.
Right before the event started, basically, like the week before.
Yeah.
So it was like 2013 then we last saw it.
Our last full day there, I do believe we stayed for it and watched it.
Yeah. Now I heard, I don't know whether this is true, but I heard there was a lot of damage done during the hurricane.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard that too.
Possible.
And as far as we're aware, they already had plans to either change it. So they've obviously just taken, God, you know what, it's not worth replacing this stuff. We've got something better in the works. Let's just bite the bullet.
Yeah, because from what I heard, it wasn't supposed to close when it has.
No.
They were going to run it after Horror Nights, but obviously like you said, Tracy, because Irma's damaged, they thought, look, let's just stop it now.
Yeah.
It
happens.
The structure of it is very similar to the stage that got messed up for Academy of Villains.
Yeah.
So I can definitely believe that.
Yeah, if you look, they've gone now as well, completely, as far as I'm aware. I think the barges, the whole structure's gone. The barges have gone.
Yeah. Oh, well, they never hang around, so...
I don't know how I feel. I was never totally in awe. We've talked about in the show for so long about how both of those parks need a focal point for the end of the night, because you go to Disney and there's always that. It was Wishes, it was Illuminations, it was Phantasmic.
Yeah.
There was only Animal Kingdom that didn't have anything at the time, but you had that focal point at the end of your day.
That wind down, if you like.
That you've watched the fireworks, that's the end, you come out. At Universal, it was kind of like, oh, it's 7:45 now, we've got to go. There wasn't like an end point.
Yeah.
And I was hoping that something, like when we went to see Cinematic Spectacular, that it would have that. I look for that emotional beat when I go to see something like this. And for me, it didn't have it.
No, it was lovely. And there were some really nice moments. You'd hear certain strains of music and things like that were kind of like, oh, I remember that. I used to love that. But as you say, there wasn't anything that fully tugged at the heartstrings. Nothing that made you well up and kind of cough and hide your face.
Yeah, I think what Disney has on its side, the advantage to all of their shows is the sense of scale.
Yes,
absolutely.
If you can take anything and make it that big, then you're going to get more of an emotional response from it, I think.
Yeah.
So Universal has to try extra hard, and hopefully with this new show, we'll see something cool.
Well, we'll see.
The thing that really stuck out for me in Cinematic Spectacular was always the Minions segment, because Minions laughing just gets me every time. I can't help but it puts a huge smile on my face, and that bit in the middle of it. I think we were round the park one night when it was on and weren't watching it, and you just hear that bit and it just this broad grin just spreads across your face.
Just a big grin.
Yeah. Can I just point something out though that will please quite a few people? It's one less screen-based thing in the park.
Well, no, because they said it will take Cinematic Spectacular to the next level.
Yes. Oh, it's a real screen then.
Maybe drones will be flying the screens up.
Yeah.
I was just going to say drone.
Well, one thing I have heard is that unlike Cinematic Spectacular, where you can watch it from anywhere around the lagoon, it will be more of a show that's needed to be watched from a specific location.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, please pick up your 3D glasses from any location around the lagoon.
But they do, and it's still disappointing that they haven't done anything for Ireland. I think for the last 5 years, we've heard rumours of them testing things out in Islands of Adventure, and I suppose they're going to have that with...
huge lagoon that they can play with as well there.
You're kind of going to get it with the Christmas stuff on Hogsmeade, and you can't tell me that they're going to invest all that money putting the projectors
and only
in.
Use it 3 months
and
so
use
the year,
it for Christmas. I know Universal Studios Hollywood do a non-Christmas projection show on their Hogwarts castle, so I can't see them not continuing that on.
Yeah.
I know what it's going to be. What do you see people doing when they're walking around the parks? They've got the noses buried in the phone, so it's going to be an app that only is triggered at a certain point in the park at a certain time. So they're already looking at the phones, and there's the
your
show.
nighttime spectacular on your phone.
That's how you can see the awesome fireworks that they can't actually fire off because of the high school next door. And
it will be interesting to see what they do, because I think overall the reviews of Cinematic Spectacular have been lukewarm at best.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But at least they tried something.
Like I said, it's good for what it is. But it just doesn't have that like sense of scale. It's just it seems like it was something like those globes that they had out there. It's just something that played, while you were walking out of the park that you just kind of glanced at. It just seemed like one of those things, like a kind of get you out of the park thing.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it, they're never going to be able to do anything that's going to compete with Disney for that.
No, just purely
because
from
of where they are and
yeah.
everything,
But maybe they could, and involve some like live actors and stuff like that, and do something with boats out there. I don't know, like they used to with the stunt show.
Yeah,
that would be neat.
We shall see.
It will be very interesting.
Do we know when? Do we know an ETA for anything yet?
Nope. At least they're replacing it with something. They could have just said, "Look, Cinematic Spectacular, because it's been damaged. That's it, done, gone, finished, and we're not going to bother." At least they're replacing it with something else.
It seems to me that this something else is already in the pipeline.
Yeah, that's what it seems to be. Cool.
Yeah, awesome.
Right. So let's give ourselves a little break. And who shall we go over to? We will go over to Seth for some little things.
Hi, this is Seth Kabursky with another look at all the little things that are new around the Universal Orlando Resort. First up, Hot Butter Beer is back at Universal Orlando.
Woohoo!
Hot Butter Beer is a seasonal item, and it is available now through the end of the winter season at Leaky Cauldron and Three Broomsticks. It was not yet available at places like the Hopping Pot or the carts in the streets, but if you go inside to Leaky or Broomsticks, you can get a cup there. I highly recommend it. In other Wizarding World of Harry Potter news, Dragon Challenge demolition continues, and just about all that is left is a single blue loop. Some of the signs from the roller coaster attraction appeared in the Williams of Hollywood prop shop over in Universal Studios Florida, but they were all quickly sold. Hopping over to Universal Studios Florida, all of the signage from the former Terminator 2 3D attraction has been removed from the exterior, but the cyber image store that served as its gift shop still continues to operate. And finally, in Universal Studios Florida, a vending machine for Snapchat spectacles has been installed in the San Francisco area. The Snapchat spectacles are digital camera glasses that can be used with the Snapchat app to take photos and videos. They cost $139, and you can buy them with a credit card from the large yellow machine with a smiley face. That's all for now. This is Seth Kabursky from the Unofficial Guides, Touring Plans, Attractions Magazine, and Orlando Weekly. I'll be back in a few weeks with another look at all the little things around Universal Orlando Resort.
I can't actually formulate a sentence.
Darren, were you aware of Snapchat glasses before?
Yes, I think I need to buy a pair and review it for the show since it's at Universal.
What the hell?
But yeah, they're glasses that you wear, obviously, and then they've got a camera up in the corner so you can record video clips of what you see, and it uploads it. To your Snapchat.
I assume it must have like Bluetooth then too. You must have to have a phone with the app on, do you, or is it?
Yeah.
So what? Google Glass for children?
So.
It's just a lot of crap.
Oh my God. Seriously.
Yeah.
In no time at all, there's going to be no need for any physical theme parks at all because people are just too involved with the technology to even look around.
This one lets you look around and take video at the same time.
That's a good point. You're not looking at your phone.
Well,
yeah, that's actually that's not a bad point, actually.
and then
I still wouldn't buy them. And
then people find out when they're leaving them on, put the 3D glasses over the top, how difficult it is to wear glasses and 3D glasses. Actually, I'm all for it now.
There you go.
I did see that Seth mentioned there, though, the entrance and exit signs from Dragon Challenge for sale. And I know one of them was $200, which I actually didn't think was too bad.
That's not bad, actually, really.
Yeah.
I've said next time we come over, I want something out of that prop shop. I need to know how much of that T2 stuff's going to end up in there. We'll be watching Tim Tracker's video from the day it closed, and Tracy commented when the T70s come up, I wonder what they'll do with them. No, but seriously, think about what are they going to do with basically 7 foot sort of articulated robots? What do you do with them? Surely they're not just going to dump them on a
They need to set up a museum. They really do. They're learning to let people now take video, and they're encouraging people to take video and photographs. I hope they are starting to realise that they need to start keeping hold of some of this stuff because people would pay to go and actually see it.
Well, that was a rumour.
And reminisce about it.
The preview centre for the longest time was what it was going to be. I think it was more wishful thinking than anything else.
Yes, but if enough people say they want it, surely they're going to start to listen.
Did you notice that, Darren, on the last day of T2, when they walked, I don't know whether you've watched any videos from the last day, that they actively told people, please take photos, as many as you want, and record it.
Oh.
So I think they finally realised that there are fans out there that really do care about this stuff, and they want it sort of capturing for posterity.
Yeah.
Not UOAP
It's
style.
Yeah.
It's smart, and then they're not responsible for having to do it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there you go. Everybody wins.
I mean,
I was going to say
So I'm
those.
sure they do. They've got camera crews there on retainer, so they might as well. But
The T70s, I could sell them with a voice modulator so you could record things. Can you imagine having one of those that just suddenly comes up out the floor in the living room when the kids are misbehaving? It just says, go to bed. It's scare they'd never come out of the bedrooms again.
laser designators active. Yeah. It's funny, I was listening to Universal After Dark today, and they were talking about Horror Nights, and that's another thing. They were like, those houses go up, and they're open for 7 weeks, and then gone forever. Why aren't Universal doing proper, like, high def walkthroughs of those houses and keeping them for posterity?
With the technology that's there, I know I hate technology, but VR glasses to have virtual walkthroughs of those houses.
yeah. Well, we don't know
Just
for
saying.
sure if they're doing that or not. They might be going through and taking video all the
They
way
might
through.
be.
Because
They could be.
They have B-roll that they use in the commercials and that
True.
kind of thing.
Very true.
So maybe they do that, but they just haven't made that all public. But that would be awesome if they did.
Because, I
I'd
suppose you
pay for that.
think about Jack Presents 25 Years of Monsters of Mayhem. That virtually that entire house was stuff that's been before. So have they got video of the walkthroughs of all of those houses to be able to know how to set it up correctly to pay proper homage to it in that house? Or have they just still got the schematics from it from when they...
Who knows?
It's quite sad, really, though, when you think about the amount of effort that goes into those mazes for it just to be gone in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that majority of the props are repurposed. Though.
Oh, well, they do. Darren
yeah.
says that all the
Yeah.
time. You say every year, don't you, Darren? You'll go, I noticed bits
Yeah.
from this, that, and
Which,
the other.
it's just
But it's-
responsible.
Yeah. The more you go, the more you notice. But yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Right. Let's move on. Tracy, stop picking hairs off your microphone.
Well, stop putting hairs in my microphone.
Oh, yeah.
It's because I've got my lip balm and it's sticking to my lip.
So, moving on, we've had some more details about the Aventura Hotel. They've actually released a first official room pic. So, Tracy, would you like to sort of describe the rooms and give us the bump that they told us about the pictures?
Do you want me to be excited about it or honest?
Do what you need to do.
Right, so yes, so the first official pictures of the rooms that you will stay in when the Hotel Aventura opens next year.
Which, the quick jumping in, I've heard it's been knocked back 2 weeks.
Right.
I think it was supposed to open on the 1st of October. It's now opening on the 15th of October.
Do hope people
August,
weren't
I might be
booked.
wrong. Apparently, if you were booked in those first 2 weeks when it's supposed to open, they are redistributing people out to Sapphire Falls or Cabana Bay.
That's a bummer.
Yeah. So, yes. You want me to just describe this
It was to
picture?
do, sorry, it was to do with, because of Hurricane Irma.
Well, fair enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's going to be a lot of disappointment there.
Yeah.
So, yes, we've got floor-to-ceiling windows, which apparently is going to make it feel bright and airy. Well, this picture is not particularly bright and airy. It's very white.
It's bright.
It's not bright. It's well lit. There's a difference.
Is it?
Yeah, there is. You're a man, you don't understand. It's very nice. It's very functional. It's very bland and blah. It's disappointing. It looks lovely. It looks like it potentially is high end,
Yes, it does.
but
Yeah.
there's no fun in it. There's no soul in it. It's just white walls, what looks like grey curtains, a brown full-length headboard that seems to run the entire length of the room.
If you read the rest of it, it will tell you.
I know. I'm just describing what I'm seeing here.
Yeah.
I'm looking
I've never
at...
been to Las Vegas, but I just imagine this as like the standard suite.
Yes.
If it had a sticky floor as well.
Standard suite. Yeah.
It seems to be a mismatch because we've got dark very dark wood floors,
I like the floor, actually.
but with beech furniture.
Yeah.
Beech or light oak furniture. And there's brown headboard and grey curtains and blue cushions. And it's kind of like there's been too many designers in here. They haven't been able to design the palette because it's just... Oh, and the orange chair in the corner. It's boring. You know, there's no pictures on the walls. There's nothing of interest in there. It looks
Yeah, it's
cold.
like there's nothing wrong with it necessarily, but
There's nothing appealing
No, it's
about
nothing.
it.
It's not exciting. You walk in and go, "Oh, this is lovely." It's quite small, actually. Looking at that,
It looks like it looks like they're trying to make it more high end than it is.
because it is. It is low end.
Do you know what?
Darren,
then?
is this going
Put
to be
some colour in.
below? Did we ever? I can't, because we went back and forth. Did we ever find out where this sits as far as on-site hotels? Is it above or below Cabana Bay?
I do not know for sure.
Oh, I found a second picture.
Because I think when the initial concept for it first came out, me and you went back and forward, sort of saying we expected it to be high end. And when they came out and said it was like prime value or something, whatever stupid term they use for their cheap hotels, prime value.
Oh, I'm about to be corrected here. Right, let me read what the blurb says. This includes light wood and white furniture pieces with black trim, classy, to anchor the room with rich pops of eggplant, so it wasn't brown,
What colour's eggplant?
aubergine. Like a
Green.
very... please do not go and pick any colours
don't
for our
know.
house. Aubergine's like a very
Like a purpley colour.
deep purple.
There we go.
Very deep purple, almost black. Burnt orange, so eggplant and burnt orange to bring the design together. It doesn't.
In your opinion.
In my opinion, and I have good taste when it comes to colour. Floor-to-ceiling decorative glass panels provide not only a really cool visual element, but also the privacy at the vanity. Now, I'm just going to stop here. Darren, what was your complaint about the bathroom door?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that big giant roller door.
Well, you don't have to worry about it here, because there isn't a door.
No, I think there is. If
It
you
doesn't
look
look
beyond,
like-
if you look beyond those
I'm
vanity
looking.
pieces, there's a door jamb there.
That to me looks
I
like
hope
it's
so.
the entrance to the shower. That looks
That's
like
what I
a
saw
shower
too,
door.
but I hope so. I hope just the sink. I think the sink is probably what's on the other side of that, and then in that door is the bathroom with the toilet and the
Yes,
shower.
because nothing brings a family together like hearing splashes.
We've had this conversation before.
And finally, if you want a more up-close view to plan, check out the tablet in the room.
That's to top yourself with. It's a cyanide one.
It's loaded with the Universal Orlando Resort app, which is the official one, and you can check park maps, park hours, and even wait times. And you can control your TV and thermostat, because who wants to actually get off the backsides and press a button anymore? And you can order a late-night pizza with the tablet. No mention of water, though. Sorry.
Or soda.
And you're all set.
And
It's
that's,
just-
yeah, but that's the element. They've scaled back the actual theming of the hotel, and this is supposed to be contemporary, modern, and technologically advanced. That's the angle they're going on with this.
So cool and
Okay.
clinical, that's what technology
But
is.
that's what it
There's-
is. It's just some. But the problem is, you look at Cabana Bay, Sapphire Falls, Royal Pacific, Hard Rock, Portofino Bay. They need something that's different, but on a lower end.
You
Yeah.
still want... See, I'm looking, I'm seeing problems with... I'm a light sleeper, so noise, I hear what people in the next block are doing. Being a parent and having kids, I'm looking here at hardwood floors. That's not going to subdue any noise. You're going to hear the person above you walking around, and probably the person above them as well. There's not a lot of soft furnishings. There's nothing on the walls to absorb sound.
I think they've got like a cloth headboard there. It looks like.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
Yeah, you
about
can see it better
That's
in the
about
last
it.
picture. I do like that set of drawers.
I brought up
like IKEA.
all three of the budget hotels. So
Okay.
the Aventura Hotel starts at $116. The Cabana Bay Hotel starts at $112, and Sapphire Falls is $152.
So it sits in between Cabana and
Yeah.
Sapphire Falls then.
Yeah, but much closer to Cabana.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. It's functional. It looks nice. It just isn't special.
If it's like you don't want to bother with all that fun at Cabana Bay, then you can stay over here at
Yeah.
Aventura Hotel. for the sensible adult.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe I suppose you've got to do a low end
sorry.
option for people that are couples that might be a little bit more stiff upper lipped. If that's,
If this
Didn't they
is
say this is going to have conference facilities too, or something?
I don't know,
so it does
So
feel
that
more
makes sense.
business-like.
but I think hasn't it
Because
got like a rooftop bar and stuff? So I think it's definitely aiming at more that
grown-ups.
couples. I don't even know what that word is. Like couples who want to go and have a posher stay, but on a lower budget, without
Yeah,
going in and
one
staying
where-
with all the families in
I
Cabana
know,
Bay.
I know.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe not so many families will be there.
Yeah,
because
no, that
Yeah.
makes sense. It's giving
facilities
people.
aren't the same.
Yeah,
I've just been waiting with the excitement for so long for this, and I've just been left a bit flat by
I mean,
it.
it looks
It's
from
just-
the outside, it looks awesome.
It does. It's state of the art. It looks like it's just landed from another planet. It's amazing, but it's just a bit bland. It needs a bit more colour than a bit of grey and aubergine and burnt orange. So yeah, if you fancy it, don't let me put you off, because it does look nice. That's just my opinion. I was just left
Yeah,
a bit
it's
flat
just
by
it's
it.
nice, but nothing spectacular.
I like something different, obviously. So if you want to book your stay right now, you can take advantage of free $50 hotel dining credit on a stay of 4 to 6 nights, or you can go all out and book a 7-night stay for a free $100 dining credit.
And Darren, we will be sending you here to check it out.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm still interested in checking it out, and this time I will be bringing a survival kit
Yeah.
because apparently that's what you have to do to stay at a Universal on-site hotel. Is I have to bring some frozen dinners with me and everything. I can bring some water and soda and everything. I'll be planning ahead this time.
Yeah.
It was funny because after you said that, I saw a lot of people comment saying that a Cabana Bay has stuff open for people coming in from Horror Nights, which I find interesting that Sapphire doesn't. When you're paying more to stay there.
I mean, even if you just had a vending machine in the foyer,
Yeah,
in the lobby, it's a no-brainer.
I don't get.
Just don't get it.
In front of the show, Derek Bergen said, I was talking to him about it, and he talked to Sapphire Falls, and apparently they do not have a vending machine in any Lowe's hotel anywhere in the country. That's kind of a thing of theirs. So
Fair enough. Then you should have something else in place then.
Yeah, exactly. Have something open. And they might by now, who knows?
Yeah, even if it's a few employees that are along the pathways or before you get on the boats
Just with
or
carts
whatever,
or whatever.
with carts for you to, and have them calling out. There's no water. There's gonna be this is last stop for water.
Yeah, like you said, Darren. It's that time of year. They know that probably 25%, if not more, of the people staying in those on-site hotels are there because they're going to Halloween Horror Nights.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
I don't know either.
Anyway,
But
yeah.
Anywho,
We're doing some waffling tonight, aren't we? It's good. Let's take a little break to hear from our good friends Michelle and Robin over at Mouse and Muggle.
Hey you, that's right, you. Doesn't listening to the crew at UOAP every week make you wish that you were actually at Universal Orlando Resort? Well, stop wishing and start doing. Mouse and Muggle Travel Company is the perfect place to begin. Their team of concierge-level travel planners will help you every step of the way. From finding the right fit for your family and budget to customized itineraries and insider tips. They can handle it all. Even if a hiccup that is up to no good arises during your trip, Mouse and Muggle Travel Company will manage the mischief for you. And for you muggles who also love the mouse, their team of experts specialize in Disney destinations too. And the best part of all, their services are free to you. So, if you're ready to plan your next Disney or Universal vacation, let Mouse and Muggle Travel Company do all the work for you. Just go to mouseandmuggle.com and fill out a no-obligation quote request. Or send an email to info@mouseandmuggle.com. It's that simple. So what are you waiting for? Just raise your wand and repeat after me. Accio, phone. Didn't work? Muggles. Here, Try some pixie dust instead. And remember, whether you're a mouse or a muggle, Mouse and Muggle Travel Company can help make your next vacation simply magical.
And welcome back. Let's upset Tracy potentially.
Again?
Darren,
Yes.
we've heard something about the Superstar Character Breakfast, have we not?
Yes. Yes, we have. So a friend of the show here, Mark Kleinhens of Orlando Informer, got in touch with us today to let us know that they have heard that Universal's Superstar Character Breakfast, which takes place in Cafe La Bamba at Universal Studios Florida, will hold its last seatings on November 11th and will be replaced with an all-new character dining experience to open in 2018.
Same place or different venue?
That's all we know. That's all Mark
Okay.
told me.
Okay.
Um,
I'm going to
Based
say,
entirely
though,
on the Hop franchise.
right.
this wasn't a patch of the breakfast that we had at Confisco
No.
Grill.
No, not at all.
That was amazing.
like not just the breakfast itself. I thought the characters were
Yes.
far better.
Yeah.
My issue with character breakfasts are you need face characters for the adults more than the kids. The kids get away with interacting with non-talky characters,
Yeah.
but I think to keep the adults interested, which you need to, because let's be honest, it's the adults that are paying for it. So we sat there and had like a 10-minute conversation with Spider-Man
Spider-Man, that
about
was
driving in the UK. It was quite interesting.
Yeah, he got educated. I was amazed at how little Spider-Man knew.
Well, he doesn't drive, does he? He doesn't need to drive. Yeah,
If
so
he's
that,
canon, he just got his license over here, so he's probably pretty confused.
Darren, I know character breakfast probably aren't really your thing, are they?
Not really.
What
I'm
would-
like the character starts coming over, and I'm like,
Okay, then.
it's okay to be like in the room, and it's
Yeah,
entertaining.
yeah.
If they're all around there or whatever when they start coming over the table.
What could
I'm like-
Universal do as far as a character breakfast to get you and Nina to go, hell yeah, I'm booking that?
Well, for Nina, it could be any of several things that are already available. I think she really likes the Grinch breakfast and that kind of thing
Yes.
as well. But for me, of course, a Back to the Future one would be really nice. But like I don't know, one more theme to that kind of thing. But I don't know. They do the Horror Nights dinner, and I'm still not really interested in that as well. So
Really?
yeah, no, because I haven't been obviously. So
And you wouldn't be interested in doing the scare actor Darren then, Darren, really?
no, really no.
So I think it looks pretty cool, the bits I've seen of it.
I think they should have breakfast alcohol.
Tracy,
might
character
They do.
breakfast.
It's called mimosa.
Mimosas.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, they do it at the Hard Rock, don't they?
They're not alcoholic. Don't
What-
tell Lee.
I was going to say, I can't ask you what would it take to get you there, because you'd go characters, but what would you want to see character-wise and experience-wise at a character breakfast to take what they've done already and make it better?
I would actually really like to see specific themed, have a few of them dotted around. I would pay good money to have a Zeus only breakfast, but we're talking that the food was Zeusian,
Okay.
and but obviously how much I love Dr. Zeus and all of that, and I always have my best interactions with those characters. Well, not only because I've got
Yeah.
the sleeve. See, for me with this, the Superstar character breakfast, problem is, yes, Hop was in there. That was really entertaining. But where else is it in the park?
Yeah, and
It's not
it was in the-
relevant.
no, it was in the Superstar Parade at the time.
Yeah, but that's it. It's not relevant to the park, really, apart
It's
from
not there
obviously
now
they have
anyway.
the license for it. What they should be doing with that is actually, what's the word I'm looking for? Not advertising. They've got
Promoting.
promoting the rides that are already in the park. Have the Men in Black as part of it.
That would be cool.
Yeah, that would be pretty.
Yeah, that would be cool. Like an alien character breakfast.
Have Terminator.
Yeah.
But you
It's
don't.
not in the park anymore.
No, but you know what I
You
mean.
have something
Okay.
to do now.
That's not a bad idea, actually.
You know-
'Cause those actors will probably be still on the pay list, I would assume.
if you must have Barney.
He won't be there much longer.
Although I would find it quite amusing to see E.T. shuffling around the place. You know, another way of doing it is they have animal actors, right? What is springing up everywhere? Cat, dog, various animal cafes.
He is a random dog who may or may not have appeared in a film you haven't seen from 30 years ago.
People pay money for that, you know. But yeah, I'd rather that the characters were actually relevant.
Absolutely, and the problem is what's at the parks that you could get away with doing a character breakfast with. They need to do something with the Marvel characters. I think if they don't, especially with how much Disney's ramming Marvel into their parks.
I would like to see something in islands.
Yeah.
And I think they've got more scope doing it in islands.
I was going to say, it's coming, and you're going to be perfect for this. Is the Fast and the Furious supercharged breakfast?
Yeah, no.
Sit down with Dom and have some bacon and eggs
With the family. I don't even know. I've only seen 2 of them.
All breakfast cooked on a V8 engine.
I don't know. I mean, I think the formula is there.
I would expect Poe to be there. Oh, it's going to be because so the DreamWorks thing hasn't really started to pay off yet. We've got Kung Fu Panda in the parks. Maybe it's going to be a DreamWorks breakfast, so you might get Hiccup from How to Train Your Dragon.
Toothless and Viking breakfast.
That would actually be really
all cooked
How
over
to Train
open
Your Dragon
fires.
breakfast. That would actually potentially work.
And of course, every Viking breakfast ends with a Viking funeral. Farewell.
And they all drink alcohol constantly for breakfast. I'm sold. I'm there.
Yes, mead for all.
But they need
gross.
face characters in there. That was the beauty of the one in Ireland, that you had a mixture of both.
Yeah, you need. I mean, Jade had the thing 1 or thing 2 with the eyebrows. That was a lovely interaction where. Do you know what? I think she was predicting the future. You know, all these girls, these big thick eyebrows that are painted on. She was like wiping thing 1 or 2's eyebrows off with her thumbs. But thing 1 or 2, I never remember which one it was actually copying her and rubbing his fingers over Jade's eyebrows as well. It was so sweet. So I think you do need a mixture of the both of face characters and
because I think the
costume
characters are more for like the young kids.
Well, not necessarily.
Yeah, because you don't need to talk to young kids. They just want that interaction with the character. Whereas I think if you've got to aim a character breakfast to the whole family, because you look, the average family is like a young kid, maybe a teenager, and then the adults, and you need something for everybody. You
know what? I prefer if they can't talk.
Really?
Less awkward that way, I think.
See, I find it more awkward.
It's like wave, do a little bounce thing, take a picture, and move on. That's what they do when you only have adults there. When you have kids, of course, they're going to interact with them more. But if there's like just adults sitting at the table, like at the Grinch breakfast, you know, the most awkward part is when the Grinch is sitting there talking to you, because everybody in the whole place is watching. Obviously,
true. Yeah.
It's one of those things, though. I suppose if you're not into that kind of thing and you're a group of adults, that's not something you're necessarily going to do. Then, is it?
Yeah, if you might do it for somebody you love, like Nina.
Yes. I'm glad to hear you say that.
Bless
I
him.
think they should
that
do
character breakfast of the Grinch thing looks amazing. I'd do it.
I think they need to do character weddings.
They probably do. Speaking of weddings, actually, we should. Tyler and Jessica got married.
Yes, we need to speak to them.
They get married at the Royal Pacific or the Hard Rock?
Oh, I can't remember.
Royal Pacific.
And Jessica. Royal Pacific, yeah,
Royal
I thought
Pacific,
it was. Not about a week and a half ago now, or 2 weeks ago. Yeah, we're going to get them on the show and talk about. I'm quite interested, like planning a wedding on site could be quite intriguing.
Yes, I got so far with getting information for...
That was a long time ago.
Yes, for a standalone show with Universal, and then all of a sudden...
Yeah.
You stop talking to me, people.
They don't want anything to do with us, they hate us.
So... Yes.
Because of the theming and the picture that they posted on the Producers Club page, it looked like it was like a Jurassic Park theme wedding. So I think you could probably pull that off there in that space that they used. I think you could probably do it pretty easily.
Definitely. Cool. Right.
So when Andy and Sam renew their vows, that's where you...
No, they need a minion wedding.
I'd just like to point out, from that little bit of research I did, it's actually cheaper to get married, far cheaper to get married than renew your vows. Just letting you know.
Oh, yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
It's almost double to renew your vows, which is ridiculous because you don't
Maybe
do
just lie
JP
to
or
'em.
anything.
It's crazy, isn't it? I don't get that, but anyway.
I know, we never got to do our little renegade
No,
thing last
no,
time.
we had a plan. Right, moving on. We have received another S.P.E.W. For those who don't know, that is the Society for Promotion of Employee Well-Dones, which basically, if you've had a team member do something to make your day extra special and go out of their way, we encourage people to leave guest services, leave positive feedback for the team member themselves, tell the team member themselves, and also
Absolutely.
email their story. And so we have one from Holly Cotter, I do believe, Darren.
Yay!
Yes, yeah. Holly Cotter sent one in. She said, I would like to recognize the excellent customer service we received at the ET ride. A little over a week ago, on the last day of our vacation, we arrived at the front of the ET ride. There was no line, but the doors closed just before we got to them. Team member Danielle apologized and said she didn't want to open the doors. The pre-show had already started. She would walk us through the VIP entrance instead. So she took us through the gift shop to a side door where you exit the ride building. That place is right in the front of the express sideline. As if that wasn't wonderful enough, skipping the queue meant our eyes hadn't adjusted, and the ride was extra dark and awesome.
Cool.
It was really nice to have that special moment, even more so since it was our last day of vacation. Thank you, Danielle.
Cool, that's awesome. I love when stuff like that happens.
Yeah, it was really nice.
Well done, Danielle.
Yes.
Cool.
Always good to hear.
It is, and you'll hear next week that Gabe and Nikki had a really good experience on Spider-Man through a team member. And again, I don't want to spoil next week's, but they said that the team member service that they got at Universal outweighs anything they've ever had at Disney.
I was quite surprised at
Yeah.
how strongly they got that across.
Yeah, they really did.
Yeah.
Right.
Before you disagree, your mileage may vary.
It's just it is what, don't go expecting it, but if it does, it's awesome, and if it doesn't, don't be disappointed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Definitely. Right, I am excited about the next bit. So, if you don't follow Universal on YouTube, you will not have seen a recent video they posted called "You Know You Are a UOAP When." And it's hilarious. I'm going to play the audio of it in a minute, but it set my brain thinking. So let's
good
just
grief.
play the audio of that first, and then we'll come back and discuss it a little bit.
You know they're bringing it back, right?
They're not bringing it back.
This way's faster.
I have to tweet this at Mike Aiello, like, now. Ooh, this is the good cast.
Sweet! Nope.
This way's faster.
How does the face move?
Well, it's a pneumatic system.
Air pressure. What's your name?
Steven? Steven?
What's your name?
Steven?
No, this way is faster! You see that? She always does that when she sees me.
Oh, forgot to use my discount. Ooh, limited edition. I'll take 10.
Zipline. Aventura to Volcano. Just what I heard. It's hot.
And that's how they built the ride technology. And actually, I heard they're expanding it.
I heard they're closing it.
The first time I watched that, I laughed so hard because it's just like, oh my god, that is. It's like it felt like it was made about me.
How many of those have we done?
Yeah.
But it is so true. Anyway, the video's on YouTube. Go and watch it. It is hilarious. But it's
It really is.
I just thought I'd share the audio there because it's less we have to talk. It is funny, but it got me thinking because so much of that speaks to us as
We're not pass holders either.
Universal podcasters. Darren's a pass
I know.
holder.
Yeah. It's all of those are very true.
Yeah.
Yes. It got me thinking, I wonder if we could do a listener-sourced video of our own.
Oh, wow.
Basically entitled, You Know You're a UOP Listener.
Oh, my
When?"
goodness.
Darren, when you went to parks next?
Who knows?
Wow.
If you would be interested in... Basically, everyone's got a video camera in the pocket now.
Yep.
I'm going to work on some daft little clips like those. And if you would be interested in being part of this, drop us an email at podcast@uopodcast.com and we'll go from there. And hopefully we can put something together. I've already got planned out half a dozen little bits, and we'll have between the three of us, we'll have a bit of a brainstorm and see what other bits we can come up with that speak to in jokes from the show that would potentially be funny.
So you're wanting the listeners to make suggestions?
No, I want the listeners to go into the park with their phones and record these little video segments for us and then be part of it.
Right, I'm with you.
Michelle's already told me she's on board.
Wow.
So I need, a dozen maybe.
This is potentially terrifying because this is where we find out how people really perceive us.
No, it's not about us.
I
It's
know,
about
but we
because
are
you
the
know you're a
podcast,
universe.
yeah.
Right? To put it into to give it like some of the thoughts I've already had was I want someone to film a friend of theirs sat at the entrance to Islands of Adventure with the port of entry music playing, sobbing in a mess in the corner. Right? That type of thing.
And walking into the Wisdom World, the family stepping back and letting the bloke walk forward and him crying.
Stood outside Auntie Anne's, but I don't want to spoil it because I've got so many thoughts in my head that are hilarious already.
Having a debate over what's better, the lighthouse or the club.
Butterbeers and anyway,
these are the toilets that I like.
Yes. So if you would be interested in basically filming yourself and some friends
I've just got a brilliant one.
acting out little sections in the park, drop us an email and let us know you're interested and I'll compile it all together and then we'll go from there.
I've just thought of a brilliant one.
Awesome. It could be fun. Like, it might take some work, but it can't take any more work than putting the highlights reel from Halloween Horror Nights 26 out of Darren's videos that he sent me last year. It won't take any more work than that.
It's your idea, it's your job.
Or even editing last week's T2 3D special. Yeah, that took a long, long time.
Yeah.
But I just think it could be...
It could be something different and fun, isn't it? Cool. Okay.
Where are we at? Right. Speaking of Michelle, as it says, it's time to head over to Michelle and Robin for another Did You Know with a Mouse and a Muggle.
Hey, Robin, did you know that the Blue Man Group show over at Universal Orlando Resort is fit for all ages?
Really? I thought it was just for adults.
It's not. It's good for everybody. So you remember when we went back, that was what, again, 3+ years ago?
Yeah.
3 years ago. We weren't really that excited about it, but we had to go for an agency fam that we were at a training meeting, and we loved it. It was just a bunch of adults. It was amazing for adults.
Such a good time.
Oh my God, it was so amazing. And then just recently I took my 6-year-old, well, at the time she was 5, and she loved it. Have your girls gone and done it?
They haven't, but we're heading there soon, and I think I might add it to our trip. Great idea.
Yeah, I totally think you should. So I was there with my daughter, but there were also tons of other kids at the show. I didn't see any babies, nor would I take babies necessarily because it is a little loud at times. Might hurt the little ears, and of course you don't want to disrupt the show with any kind of crying. But toddlers, as long as they can sit still for, I would say, for a movie, if they've gone to like your local theater and can sit still for something like that, I totally think that they could handle sitting still for this show. What do you think?
I agree. It's very entertaining. I was entertained, and I'm a big kid, so I think it's great.
Yeah,
I think that's a good idea.
It was awesome. We had our booties up, shaking, and didn't even know what was happening. We were just up dancing, acting like little kids ourselves. So it's a great, great, great time for all ages. So if at all possible, add that to your trip. Your travel agent can add it for you. Or you can call into Universal. They will be happy to add it for you. It's amazing. All right, that's all for now. Catch you next time on Did You Know by Mouse and Muggle.
I do wonder how much longer the Blue Man Group will be there to see how much this Cirque du Soleil buying them out will impact it.
Hopefully we will get to see it before it goes.
Yes, I would like to at some point. Yeah.
We've already had 5 opportunities.
I don't know.
I only saw that preview. It was really good. I like the preview a lot.
Yeah.
And I definitely think you can bring kids pretty young kids too, because it's such a spectacle that I don't think they'd have any choice but to just sit there and be like, "What?"
Yeah, because it's musical. That's without music keeps kids entertained.
Well, I would imagine it's very visual as well.
Yeah, it's weird.
And the characters are very cartoonish as well.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's weird how it's not something we've ever looked at, because we obviously made
We didn't have time last time.
a beeline
expensive.
to.
Yeah.
Well, is it? We said before we did Lanuba at Downtown
There was only
Disney,
two
and
of
that
us
is
then,
bloody.
though.
It doesn't matter. It's still expensive.
It's an expensive
not
sleep.
that expensive.
Like it probably cost us about $160 for the two of us.
It was
Yeah.
amazing.
It was fantastic.
Apart from the last 10 minutes, I don't know what happened
But
there.
I think we talked about, I think when we had Chris on, when we did our add-ons for around the resort, that it's just tucked out of the way that it's not in your face.
There's a little sign that says this way too.
You walk into Universal Orlando Resort into City Walk, and realistically at this point, the first thing you're going to see is maybe the Hard Rock or Toothsome in the corner.
Yes, very true.
You're not going to see the Blue Man Group because it's behind the Hard Rock. So unless you're seeing advertisements for it, you're not going to know it's there.
Yeah, and they do try as hard as they can for that. There are ads all the way up, to the park, but at that time too, you're not really paying attention to it.
No.
You're just excited about getting into the park, so you just see it as you walk by, and then by the time you leave, you don't see it anymore. So
Yeah.
It's a shame.
It is.
Because now I've seen bits and bobs of it, I think that's right up my alley.
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
We shall see.
Let's wrap this up. We've got it's already been mentioned once tonight, but Mark messaged me and said, as I've been pestering you all day long, I wonder if you would forgive me in answering a question of mine. So Mark asks, given all the closures and the announced openings for the next year at Universal Orlando Resort, which do you think is the most telling or otherwise important? That is to say, which one do you think gives us the best idea of where Universal is headed with USF specifically and the entire resort generally?
Ooh.
Well,
it's a tough question.
It is.
Which one?
I wouldn't say.
Well,
I wouldn't
that's
say
stumped us.
count something out T2 because it seems like they're going to put something somewhat similar in there.
Yes.
So I don't really say that changes any directions.
Fast and Furious, I think, to a certain extent, because it's another virtual queue attraction.
Yeah.
Perhaps, yeah.
I think they're going to look. I know they've been testing out the facial recognition thing again recently.
Okay.
In the parks. For is it the room keys at the hotels? They did it with Cat in the Hat, I think, earlier in the year.
Uh-huh.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, maybe that, of course that leans to limited interaction with people, because I don't think they're probably going to have, an actual person leading you through the queue as much as they do in Jimmy Fallon for Fast and the Furious. I just don't think so.
No, it doesn't.
I think
lend
it would be
itself.
screens telling you to go from one place to another.
Yeah, yeah. It doesn't lend itself to having. Like, you couldn't have a character, could you? Really, it wouldn't.
Yeah, just have like a guy dressed up like Dom all the time.
Yeah, that would be a bit awkward.
Yeah, especially if the main guy couldn't make it in, so the B guy has to come in. He's like all skinny, wearing like an obvious bald cap.
Yeah, because like I complained with the Indiana Jones show when the last time we saw it, the guy had a full head of hair.
Oh,
did you forget to shave your head today, Dom?
Yeah.
Because obviously, what have you got coming in? You've got whatever's going to replace T2. You've got obviously the new character breakfast, the new night Lagoon show, Fast and Furious, and that's all that we know. Oh, actually, I'm going to throw this in here. A very strong rumor that I heard: the next attraction to go.
Oh yes,
and it will be around the new year. Will be Shrek.
Hoping. Yeah.
I have heard that on very good authority that will be the next attraction that goes down. Obviously, beyond Kid Zone.
Yeah, but even that, we don't know. We don't really have a
No.
timeline for that at the moment.
But we know that's coming. But I have heard on very good authority that Shrek will not be there much longer.
Yeah.
It's quite a big
It's a lot
building.
of stuff to have closed. Yeah. it is. And there's a lot of stuff to be closed all at once at Universal.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, that's another one that when Shrek gets closed, it's really going to impact Horror Nights.
Yeah. You have to find another place to put a house.
But yeah, for me, I'm going to say Fast and the Furious. I think they're really wanting to push. They've got Volcano Bay, you're going to have Fallon, you're going to have Fast and Furious, all with this virtual queuing thing. And I think it is something they want to roll out. Darren, you've obviously visited the park since this has started. How do you feel it works having non-virtual queue rides and virtual queue rides? Do you think it works, or does it kind of feel weird that it should be all of them or none of them?
Yeah, I think it's just because it's just one of them so far that it's not really, something that you really think of. We were thinking about, doing Fallon on one of the days we got there early, and the regular wait time, because we didn't obviously, it was just a spontaneous thing. We didn't pick a time to go there on the app or anything. Like the regular wait time for it and the standby queue was like 70 minutes or something. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we were encouraged not to do it because of that, I guess you could say.
But how does that work? Because if it's queueless system, how does it have a standby line?
I don't know. They just like let people in, I guess, after like so much time.
It doesn't make sense. Then it's not a queueless ride system, is it? Because there's still a queue.
Yeah, there is.
And how's that standby line ever going to go down?
I don't understand.
If it's queueless, because surely then you've got that stream of people that the times. I don't know.
Yeah, it seems to be a mess, and that's probably why it's 70 minutes. So.
It's the same with Volcano Bay, isn't it? I think everyone went expecting no lines. Yet you book your Tapu Tapu for the Aqua Coaster, and it tells you it's a 120-minute wait. So you walk up after 120 minutes when it tells you you can ride now, but there's still a half-hour wait. So there's still queues, even though it's supposed to be, it's been advertised as queueless.
Yep.
But I think we've talked about it before. I think it's unrealistic to ever think a theme park is ever going to be entirely queueless. It just can't happen.
Yeah,
no.
It's true.
You're right.
Especially if you want rides like you want, and that's like actual physical rides and not screen-based things. Because screen-based things you can pack a lot of vehicles into, all at once and keep it going pretty steady. But if you want a real thing, then that's going to take physical time to get around.
Yeah.
And there's always going to be a queue for it. So.
Well, that's the thing with Fast and Furious. It's from what I've heard, it's going to be the same ride vehicle that Kong is.
A big Jeep.
That's what I've heard.
Wow. They don't go very fast.
That's
maybe it's like the
going
Rock's
around.
Jeep. I guess you could say it's like one of the Rock's things and make it look more techie than the one there.
I'm not saying exactly, but the actual vehicle.
Well, I'm saying the thing is huge. It's like a huge Jeep thing.
Yeah.
So you'd have to come up with something similar.
The throughput's going to be fairly decent. What's that, 72 per vehicle? Oh, it's probably less now because I don't know whether there's still loaded front row or not.
Well, that's weird though.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a tough one because I think the new character breakfast and the new Lagoon Show again leans towards them trying a little harder to appeal to the family market, which they did, and then they kind of leaned away from a little bit. When they brought the Cinematic Spectacular in and they brought the Superstar Breakfast in, you thought, right, this is Universal trying to capture some market share from Disney as far as those younger families, and then they put Kong in and they went, oh, maybe they're not as much, and then they announced Fast and Furious, and okay, maybe they are stepping away from that, but then I think doing this again, maybe they're going back the other way a little bit more to look at appealing to families more. It's a tough line to walk because I can understand why they want to do it, because they want those people coming in, but I don't think they want to dilute the Universal experience, which is an edgier theme park experience than Disney.
Thrill, yeah.
And they're definitely at risk of that at the moment. It's borderline.
I think we need to see what Fast and Furious is going to be. We need to see what the replacement for Dragon Challenge is going to be, and we
Yeah.
need to see what the T2 replacement is going to be. And I think once we've seen what those 3 attractions are, then you can make a better
Judgment
observation
call, yeah.
of which direction they are going to go.
Yeah, that's what we're looking at. 3 months, we'll have a better idea.
Who knows? When's Fast and Furious supposed to be open? Some point, did they say springish next year?
I think it's spring now. Yeah.
Yeah, I know
So we're looking 6 months.
I know the cycling ride vehicles now.
Wow.
Okay.
Who knows how long it's going to be before we get any details for the Dragon Challenge replacement? Is that supposed to open next year, or was that 2019? I think it was next year, actually, wasn't it?
Late next year, then I would imagine.
I can't honestly remember. And then, again, we've had no details about T2's replacement, but you would assume, it's going to be at least a year's turnaround. It depends on what it's going to be.
Yeah, you'd think so.
Who was it, Darren? Was it you said you'd heard it was going to be like a swinging theatre, or was that Alicia told us that? She'd heard it was like a moving theatre thing for whatever was going to be in there. I think it was Alicia mentioned it, actually.
Yeah, I think so. Because
so obviously, if it's something like that, that's going to ramp up the amount of time it's going to take to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's obviously going to be some heavy modifications to what's there.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's going to be too similar to what it is.
Yeah.
And it would be funny just to, like if it turned out to be How to Train Your Dragon, then Toothless is just stuck where the motorcycle was. But then everything else is pretty much the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
just the Dragon Challenge replacement's 2019.
Right.
But then you look at something like Fast and Furious, that's not, whatever they do with the attraction, it's not necessarily a family-friendly ride, is it? Kids aren't going to be, it's not going to aim at kids, even if the ride itself's fast and it's exciting and that. It's still not a franchise that kids are going to be like, woo, I can't wait to ride Fast and Furious.
Good. Because I don't want it all to be family-friendly. It sounds awful to say, but it wasn't a family-friendly park. You want that? That's Disney. This was always that little bit above. This is like the teens and up park.
Yeah, it was family friendly with an edge.
Yeah.
And it still might be. I think if you look at something like Skull Island, Reign of Kong, I think that's that perfect family friendly with an edge. I think Forbidden Journey was as well. And Gringotts to a certain extent. So I think they've always walked that line. They just need to get away from screen-based stuff.
They do.
Yeah.
They do.
And kids like cars too, so I think it's entertaining enough for them.
True.
While still being geared mainly for, the adults, teens and up, so.
Yeah.
I'm for it, I guess. We'll see what happens when it comes out.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm really weirded out that it's the same ride vehicle now. Really wondering how they're going to do that.
Yeah.
I haven't seen enough of the films to know where that potentially would fit in. Anyway, I haven't seen any of the new ones. Although they look pretty cool.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is like The Rock drives these like big armored trucks and stuff like that. So that's the only thing I can think of is you're in something like that with him.
With everything going on around.
Like with him driving, yeah.
That could work.
And then him looking back through the window because they've got that like projection window thing. So
that'll be cool.
Yeah. Possible, I guess.
Interesting.
Cool.
Okay.
Right. There you go, Mark. I hope that kind of answered your question.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it did.
It is a tough one because who can say what they're going to do in the future? There's only they know, and I'm sure that's a moving target.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
But they
I think
said
when Star Wars opens and all that opens, then you're going to see things shift.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that's where Nintendo's going to come in. Because I've heard that is going to be unreal. That was something else I heard. Someone told me that they'd heard from someone. This is like Ferris Bueller. My sister's brother's boyfriend told me he saw Ferris pass out at 31 Flavors last night. That when the new attraction opens where Dragon Challenge is, it will be your newest favourite attraction at Universal.
Okay.
So we will see.
Yeah.
Cool. Right. So that's going to wrap up episode 271. not much else to say, is it? Join us next week, as we already said, because we will have Gabe and Nikki from the Theme Park Duo
Yes,
podcast.
we will. You'll enjoy that.
And then Darren will be joining us back in 2 weeks' time for hopefully some more news and interesting gobbledygook. So for Tracy and Darren, I've been Lee, and you have been listening to the Unofficial Universal Orlando podcast.
Well, that wraps up another Unofficial Universal Orlando podcast. Thanks for listening. Between shows, please subscribe, rate, and review us on iTunes. It really helps. But if you're not an Apple user, you can find us on Stitcher, YouTube, Google Play, or wherever great podcasts are found. Head over to our blog at uuopodcast.com for show notes, articles, and more. You can get in touch with us by emailing podcast@uuopodcast.com or leave us a voicemail at speakpipe.com/uuopodcast. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, and YouTube. Just search UUO Podcast. And if you're planning a trip to Universal Orlando or Walt Disney World, please check out our sponsors by going to mouseandmuggle.com to book your next trip. Well, that's a wrap. See you next week.